engineering? What are the prospects here in Nigeria? And there are a lot of questions. And then I was also trusting God for direction, and that was really major for me, because I didn't just want to do any random thing. I wanted to do work in purpose. And so I felt led to go into tech. But before then, I reached out to some of my friends that were already into tech. I asked them questions. I asked them, okay, how is it? I think some of them are even on this call. I'm really grateful for them creating time out to answer some of my questions, because as an engineering student, you already have some, but that's not necessarily an advantage. Like, you get to code in school. So there are a lot of us that were already interested in technology and had advanced a lot before I decided to transition into product management. So I just reached out to some of them, and then based on my personality, I just measured what are the likely things, what's the likely job prospect for me based on my personality. I knew I had logical reason. I could go into software development, but I had already tried it in school then. I knew that it wasn't for me. And then UI UX, I don't know. But product management just clicked because I had been class rep for the all 5 years I was in school. I'd done a lot of projects and all. So it just made sense for me to go into product management. And then I learned a lot about, I asked questions, and I was introduced to Enoverlab. So that's basically it. But most importantly, I felt led to go into tech, and I chose product management because I thought it was a good fit based on my personality and other things that I considered.
Nice. Thank you very much for that one. Yeah, let's hear from B before I say what I want to say.
Okay. All right.
Hi, B.
I'm fine. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. My story started. Okay. Firstly, I transitioned from engineering to
Wow.
yes. Firstly, I'm first electrical electronic engineering. I studied that in Polytechnic. Then I switched to telecommunication for my universities, and then I'm now in product. So that's pretty the summary of my journey up to product. But what really happened is that for my kind of person, while growing up, I'm very, very intrusive. I love seeing. I want to see what exactly is inside one thing. Do you get for it? What is making this thing particularly to work? So that's kind of drive I had then. And that drive makes me to realize, okay, at some point I started getting some ideas about how to build product. I have some concepts that I wanted to build, but one of the challenges I had then was I didn't know how to go about it. And whoever I tell about, okay, I have this particular idea, I'll like, no, sorry, has been done before. So those kind of things keep worrying me that if you are saying this thing has been done before, are you saying nothing can be done again, or someone cannot do anything like that? So that was one of those things that geared me up. Okay, I entered into engineering. I was thinking engineering would solve my problem. I never knew the Nigerian system is not really friendly. Because I was expecting more of practical, I was seeing more of theory, and it was not my thing. So, and I was like, oh yes, this is not me. I have to move out. So in the process, I think I started digital marketing. I was enjoying the flow of it. But one thing about digital marketing that's like I don't like is not really customer centric like that. You are not going to the core to understand what the customer, the pain point, and like that. So after enjoying it for a while, I realized that no, I'm not still getting what the drive I want. I don't really understand what these people want. How to build a product for them. So for me, it was overwhelming, and I was like, no, I can't. I don't think I can further in this field. So what I did was I started doing my research, going to YouTube and the likes like that. So I stumbled on product management. When I read the description, I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely for me. This is what I can do, and I will excel in it. So that was pretty it. That was what made me to enter into it. And how I got access to Enoverlab was because I think the first encounter I had with product management was product school. And when I saw their tuition fee was really, really very, very high, something I can't pay at that moment. And I was like, no, I have to look for something within my range. So I think when I was digging through and shoveling through the internet, to be precise, Instagram, that was when I saw Enoverlab. And I decided to give it a try. That was, I think, was it last year? Yes, last year precisely. That was when I give it a try. I give it a try, and the journey has been smooth ever since. It's been smooth. I don't think I spent. I didn't finish my. I couldn't. I didn't finish my Enoverlab course before I got a job. So the journey has been great for me. So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, great. That makes sense. Somebody said, the product school tuition scared you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for that very explanatory one. I would have said I would have asked like how did you come into PM, but you've mentioned that Novalab, you saw Novalab while scrolling through your Instagram and all of that. So tell us, I'm going to just ask B to just go ahead, then Ibukun can go ahead after B. How did you get your first PM job?
Okay. Well. Yeah. A couple of things I need to first mention before I talk about the PM job. Firstly, I think it's about the culture and the practicality of Enoverlab. What I mean by the culture is what are the things they practice, and that's one of those core things that really helped me in getting my job. I can remember the first day, the first section we had. The first thing they talked about is punctuality. I could remember. I think I was 5 minutes, 10 minutes late, and it was due to some technical issues. But we don't give excuse when it comes to work. So that was the first thing I had, and I add that to my, and also in my class, I always ask question. I'm very, very intrusive, like I said. I always ask question that is bothering me, that I don't feel like, okay, I'm not getting the right result. So those are those things that help me. Also, too, one of those things that helped me was you take initiative. In my class, what happened, what we do then was we used to have um, we used to read some books. I'm telling you this because these are these things that really helped me when I was doing my interview. So that was why I wanted to bring it up now. So we read books, and we did some product tear downs and the likes like that. So having said that, then how I got my first job. Yes, so this is how it happened. I think at the middle of the course, after I've learned so much about it, I've not finished though. So I started applying for jobs. And while applying, I started networking, telling people, okay, I'm a PM now, even though I've not yet finished. Please, if you have any opportunity for me, please let me know. And I think I was sharing my CV at the moment. So and I never stopped to online, so I was trying to apply. I think I applied for some foreign jobs I saw on LinkedIn and some sites basically. And so basically that was how I got it. But for my hand, I think I know what I wanted. I don't want a physical job. I want a remote job. So I always narrow my search or anytime I want to apply to any job as remote, because I feel like that is what I really want. I don't want anything that I'll be going to job, I'll be going to up and down like that. So for my hand, it was that it was not it was I wasn't expecting it to come that easy, but yes, I am very grateful that I was able to get it even before I finished my novel section. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. I mean, when I heard that, you got a job, I was just amazed. I think that was one of the most amazing news that time that everybody in Enoverlab was happy about, and it was really thrilling because, like you said, he had not finished his training when he got that job, and to me it was almost impossible, right? But yes, B is here sharing his story. So one thing I've picked from what B has said so far is know what you really like know what you want and go for it, right? There's no crime in really knowing what you want and going for it, right? So let's hear from Ibukun. Hi, Ibukun. Ibukun, can you hear me? Oh, I guess Ibukun is having network issues. Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, great.
Okay,
That's fine.
so mine wasn't as easy as bees, but it was also a very, very interesting journey. I was really hoping it to be, something like, maybe I will speak for the majority of people here, because most people, when they are done, there's always the process of, looking out for jobs, all of those things. And I really hope that, in my first month, I was going to get a PM job. Like, I was really trusting to get a PM job. But I finished my Enoverlab training in May. Let's just say I started job hunting in June 2022. So I had June, July, August, September, October, November, December. That's like 7 months, yeah, there about 7 months. It was a whole lot for me because, well, I knew that it wasn't going to be easy, because I'd heard stories of people that, what you hear, that, oh, yes, tech is a very lucrative career path, you get to earn, and what's it called? You get to earn well, but then the opportunities are not so many. Olabanji will tell you that, you need to maybe start from one particular position, maybe like customer experience, and then transition into product management. There were several options in front of me, and I just knew that I wanted a PM role. And I was really focused in my class. Yes, I tried to be. I was still an NYSC. What do they call it? I was still doing my NYSC then when I started my product management class. So it was a bit tough coming back from work. Sometimes I would even sleep off in the class, but I reach out to my classmates to, what are the assignments? But I tried to, because, hard earned money. I wanted to get good value for it. And I was really grateful that he ended well. And then I knew that the next year, Kapawa, Mr. Ladipo. So I knew that the next thing was for me to get a job. I was also, I've always been into social media management. That's digital marketing. I used to do it for, as freelance. So I also had mentors too that I reached out to. Oh, I want to go into this. They're like, oh, you have to pick a part. But I knew that it might take a while for me to get a PM job. So I just kept with digital marketing. And then there was always the option that, okay, I can come in. In fact, there was even one experience. The piggy vest, there was one time they were asking for, what's it called, for a digital marketer or customer success agent. I was so, I was very fit for that role. I was prepared to join, piggy vest. I love piggy vest a whole lot. And, I did everything I needed to do, but it didn't turn out well anyways. And I'm glad it did not. I wouldn't have gotten to e-transact where I am now. So basically, after finishing my Enoverlab training, I got into the community. I was engaging in the community. I think the Enoverlab community is a really great one. They do great work. Thumbs up to Blessing and to the whole Enoverlab team. Like, there are several times that I was very discouraged. I wasn't even sure if, different people say, oh, I've heard different stories that, oh, it takes a long while before you get the PM role. It takes this. I know the stories you have heard. Everybody has heard different stories. But then you just being a community of product managers, everybody sharing their experience. And, okay, so for every month, I always made sure that, I got into one interview or the other. So as I was in the journey of product management, I reached out to my friends. Some of them set up interviews based on referral. I think I did one with one of my friends' company, and they were always giving me high hopes. Like, I'd gotten to one stage, then the second stage, and then they won't just contact me again. And each time I get an interview like that, I'm always, reaching out to Olabanji and asking, oh, how do I go about this? Reach out to all my other mentors. And, I was always, and then the hope is dashed again. Second month again, I get another opportunity after applying severally, and then third month again, fourth month, And then it went on like that. But I didn't allow those things to keep me down. I found, highs in all of this, in the other activities. I think there was a time that Enoverlab did a product tear down challenge. Yeah, I'm proud winner, in case you did not know. And it
Yes,
was
guys, if you
major.
don't know, look at Pathways very well. She's the proud
Yes.
winner of that.
Yeah. So I joined then. Product tear down was a huge deal for us in Enoverlab. I think we in our own cohort, we're doing it almost every week. I don't know if there's any cohort member here, but then we're doing it almost every week. We almost tore down several products. So I was, I sharpened my skills with that. And then I engaged with the community. It's just recently because I've had other jobs to do that. I'm not really active, but like engaging with the community will go a long way. It will encourage you, yes. And then all of those Twitter, what's it called again? Twitter space, yes, and random rants, yes, it goes a whole long way. It's just to help you through the journey while being focused. I obviously applied via LinkedIn too. At some point, I was just like, I'm no longer applying via LinkedIn. I'm just going to, be sure, because there are a lot of LinkedIn posts. I don't know if this is best advice, but there's so many, and the tendency was just to keep applying until you get that luck. But if there's any advice I'm going to give anybody here, it will be that know exactly what you want. Like, know what you want. I knew that I wanted to build my PM career. I didn't want to just do it as I want to build good products. I want to build great products. And I didn't just want it to be in a random company. Like, when you're giving half-hearted, when you're applying half-heartedly, and when you're giving your best. If you're applying to so many companies, there's no way you can give your best to all of them. If it's just going to be like 2 or 3 companies you apply to in a month, like, it's best to actually give your best to it, and make sure you work it out in one way or the other, that you are giving your best, not just randomly just rearranging your CV and then just submitting. I think these people tend to figure out exactly what you are doing and all. So also, I wasn't just engaging in the community. I wasn't just participating in product tear down. I wasn't just applying. I was also building, yeah, and it was really huge for me right from the get-go. Immediately I was done with Enoverlab. That was in June. I got some of my friends. Actually, someone reached out to me in the community. So there are a lot of opportunities in the community. It was a product designer, and he wanted a product manager to help manage their product. The product then was real.est, and it was basically real estate and all. I didn't really have experience like that. I mean, I just finished my product management training, but I was like, let me give it a try. And I did give it a try, and it didn't turn out well. Eventually, at some point, we stopped attending the meeting, but I got a lot of experience. One of the experience I got was user interviews, getting research. Research was one of the experience. Like, if I had not taken that step of, okay, they were not paying me, it was just a volunteer, just volunteering to do something for, let's see how it goes. If it goes well, we split the profit. If it doesn't go well, then, we go our separate ways. But we're not hoping that it won't go well. So we went on with that for, I think, about a month plus. I did interviews, like one-on-one interviews. Those were the things I learned in Enoverlab training. I did one-on-one interviews. I knew the questions to ask. I reached out, and it built my research skills. Yeah, that's one thing I learned from real.s products. And when we got to a point where I found out that, this product might be too early, or we might not have the resources to, take it further. But because I've already had a taste of, this is what it takes to build a product, I think in July, I started thinking of something else to do while also applying. And, also doing my, side also to make sure I meet ends meet. And I decided to build, and actually, while I was, praying, an idea just came to me that I should build an application basically a software where people can get shared premium plans. And it just sounded weird, and I just ran it amongst my mentors and my friends. Oh, what do you think about this? But then, based on the knowledge I'd gotten from the previous startup that did not work out, I knew that the next thing for me to do was to do surveys and interviews. Like, I needed to be sure. Like, there are a lot of assumptions, and I think this also applies to even products, even when you are in a real team. Like, even when you are in a team, like you are working as a product managers always need data to make decisions. So I decided I was going to do interviews. I reached out to people, random people. I asked them, what do you think about this idea? And, they're like, oh, this is awesome. I really love to do this. Oh, this is this. And this. People will talk now, but are they willing to drop their money for it? And, I launched it with some of my friends, and it's a product, and it's active almost 6 months. There's been highs and there's been lows, but like it works. And just like that, I was able to start a product. And the funny thing is that it's not actually funny. It's just like basic step. You're taking a step by step. Everything is adding up one step at a time. So after building that product, Netflix, and learning from the experiences of the users, what are the things, iterating from time to time, what exactly is right, what exactly is wrong, adding new catalogs, adding new products to our offerings, and all of those details. I was learning. And my CV now, I could say that I am a product manager at Netflix. And when the opportunity came, where I am now, eTransact, that was the major, I think. Well, there are several experiences that I had to talk about during the interview. The interview was really long. It was really long. I don't know if anyone has actually experienced interviews like that. I started it from October. I think it was like 6 stages. And it's not to scare you off. I know that you might have had it much more easier, but mine was really long. October, November, December. You're nodding your head. Okay, you get the opportunity to talk. Okay, so October, November, December, from HR team to head of HR to product team to head of product to all of those things. As I was meeting them, I was like from one level, and then December they just went all quiet, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to get it. And then January they're like, oh, I really impressed them. And let me just give highlights from the interview. They were really impressed at the fact that I had worked on several products. I had tried my hands on several things. Like, I think at that point, I had done user research for maybe like 4 companies. There was Real-S, there was Netflix. I was working, and actually we got about 100 users in a month. It was mind-blowing for them, but I just thought that it was just one of those things. 100 paying users in a month, and it was just 1 or 2 people coming together and trying to make something work out. So all of those experiences added up to what I started discussing in the interview. And when I told them about Netflix, they were like, wow, you did this, you did that. Each of them were like having peculiar things to talk about regarding my experience. So while you are waiting, while you are trying to secure a product management job, I think you should just get your hands dirty. It starts with basic user research. You have an idea in your mind. Oh, I think this is a problem. What are product managers here for? To solve problems, basically, to find problems and solve problems, and solve users' problems, not just random problems. Problems, like Olubiyi will say, problems that people are willing to pay for. And okay, if you see a problem around in your environment, okay, what can be done? Is there a solution around it? These are the experiences you get to talk about. This is what makes you a product manager, and this is what will land you your next job if you are in an interview. I've said a lot.
Awesome.
I hope you're able to get something.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that one. But let's take it back a little bit, right? This one is for both of you, right? That's for me as well. How was, like you said, you did not really have it easy, and I'm sure B, in a way, he can affirm to that it was not really easy. So yes, how were you able to manage rejection emails? How did you feel like having to manage oh, rejection emails, that rejection email can be a thing. But yeah, how did you handle it, and how did it make you feel? I mean, you may be happy if you get rejection email, right? Right. But yeah, I don't know if anybody will be happy. But then I just want to know, like, how did that make you feel? And what were the things that, ran through your mind? And if you like, you can just tell us how many rejection emails that you got. It would be nice, right? Who would go first? Ibukun, you can just go first.
Okay. How was I able to handle rejections? Well, my own was even defined. I knew really get sad love letters like that, or like they were just not, like I said earlier. The first company I got, I think is most of the people they're not in Nigeria. So I had met the product team, and they didn't really have structure to it, and so they didn't get back to me up till now. I just reached out to my friend that recommended me, and then the person was like, "Oh," and he just did not say anything. And then the second one, oh yes, there's probably insight to get from second one. The second one was a friend that recommended me because I was very desperate to get a PM job. I was really desperate, and that was like my second month after I had done the training. So this is about like August, June, July, August. So I got to meet one of all these top names in product management. You see them on LinkedIn. I met one, and she also owns a product community too. I think so she owns a product community, and my friend set up this meeting with us, and then I was supposed to be an intern to learn under her, and then get to and it was meant to be like she grooming me because I didn't really have that experience. I felt I did not have that experience like that. And then it was just for her to get to know me and then settle it. Then she started asking me so many questions. She asked me about design thinking. I did all of those things were strange to me. She asked me about design thinking. She asked me about like two concepts that I wasn't aware. Okay, she told me to do a product tear down from in fact, there was a question that I did not really understand, and I was trying to understand it. I didn't but because I wasn't actually prepared for an interview. I was only prepared for get to know me, my aspirations, and all of those things. Like when you're preparing for interviews, that you have to brush up your. And then I was so demoralized. I tend to, I believe I'm a person of excellence, and I felt so bad that I didn't even think to prepare. And she made me feel like I wasted her time and all. But thanks to my friend, he just encouraged me that, oh, I just need to work on it. But what did I do after the whole experience? I asked her. I think that was the time that they mentioned, or maybe it was a random question I asked Banji. I asked him, okay, when you feel that the interview experience is not going as well as you wanted it to go, the question you should have to be, okay, if I am, what are the reasons why you would not? What are the things that you think that I can work on to make my next interview process better? I'm not sure if I'm phrasing it well, but then I got that opportunity to ask her, and then I asked her that, okay, I was already sensing that this interview wasn't going to go well because I was obviously not answering questions as she wanted me to answer it. So I asked her, okay, based on your little interaction with me, what do you think are the gaps that I need to fill? And she told me that I need to work on my communication. She told me that I need to learn more about design thinking. She told me that I needed to, and then she was like, oh, I can't be your mentor. And it was fine. She thought I wanted her to, well, maybe that was the initial idea, but not like mentor, even though she wasn't going to be paying me sort of system. So I got to learn that. So even when the interview did not go bad, I had something to hold on to, like, okay, I need to work on design thinking. So I took a course on design thinking. I got to know more about design thinking. Okay, I need to improve on my communication. What was exactly the problem? I asked for my friend and asked him, okay, what did I do wrong? What can I do better? And I took all of those feedbacks and I worked on it. And I knew that the next time I'm going to be in another interview, I'm going to do better. That would not be another complaint that someone will have for the whole interview process. So I think we can always learn from every interview. I think that was actually the least exciting interview I've ever had. Then there was the other one, but most of them didn't start me love letters. They just did not respond to me. They refused to respond to me. They just, let me hang in. I don't know if that
Right.
one is worse than love letter, but
It's
then
worse. I don't think that
yeah,
it's worse. I mean, if you're not going to take me, just say you're not going ahead, and I'll just carry my mind off it. It's
Abi. So that
right.
was it.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much for sharing that one. Matthew is here, guys, and I just want him to settle in a bit. Then we'll just come back to Matthew. So, B, tell us how you handled rejection.
Okay. Okay. For my hand. Okay. I almost lost this first job. That was Enoverlab. Sorry. Slimmest HR. Because they sent me a mail like 5 days after. It was 5 days after I saw it. And why I'm saying this is that whenever you apply for any role, make sure you check every new carrying of your Gmail because mail can drop anywhere. So I was lucky enough that I sent a mail back to them and they were able to reply. So and for me, that has been I went first interview, asked questions basically, and questions were asking on product teardowns and the likes. I was able to answer and give them some feedback. But after that, we did the first interview, we did the second interview. They went off, we didn't hear anything about it. And I was like, "Ah, these people will not call me again. So let me just keep my mind off it." So I just left it like that. I didn't say anything. And I was like, I was already thinking of something else to do. I was applying for gigs, I was applying for jobs, I was getting breakfast, we want, you get, I'll apply the next week, you're saying like this, sorry, you're not, we cannot, whatever, you know how the music used to go. So I applied 4 times, 5 times, I will just keep doing it because I was like, whatever happens, I'll keep doing whatever I need to do and until I get something. But while I was doing that, what I was doing was I was trying to build a product, like I said. I never wanted to stay I just wanted to do something over time. So for me, it has been like that. And I would say out of how many people that I applied, I was the only the only male they picked. So it was such a great opportunity. And also, one of the challenges I had then was thankful for the people I have. Thankful for Banji and also my sister too, because she has done a lot of interviews. She was a lawyer, so she was able to guide me in some areas of what I need to say. So for us venturing into going into interviews, you must be very very prepared in terms of how you communicate. Questions they might ask you, tell me more about yourself. Don't just say your name, but that's not what they want to hear. You need to tell them because I was able to tell them why I transitioned into PM, what's my aim, so those are those things I was telling them, and they really buy into the idea. So the next thing they asked me for was basically I should tell them one of the products I built, and I was able to tell them these I've done this. So those are the things that really gave me edge for my hand. So for my hand, it was not that easy because like I said, I was the only guy, and it was probably because of the hard work I've put in the past. From Enoverlab, that was what helped me in sustaining on getting entry into the company. So that's what I have to say. Thanks.
All right. Thank you very much, B. That makes sense. That makes sense. Thank you so much. So let's just have Matthew. So Matthew, I just want us to keep it really, um, you know, not to rush, but just help us keep it straight to the point and everything. So I'll be asking the questions I've asked Ibuku and BA before. I feel like you might have maybe a different story, right? So tell us, how did you get into product management and why? Why product management in the first place? Yeah.
Okay. Good day, everyone. Thank you again for the opportunity. Thank you, Olabanji. Apologies, everyone. There was a serious rush. A lot of things took place. Backstory is long, so I can not bore you guys with that. Okay. First question: why come into product management in the first place? Okay. I would say I don't want to get a little bit spiritual here, but you can say it is sort of like a calling of sorts at the end of the day. But originally, yeah, I have a background in software development, so that has always been there. And in my mind, I've always loved to develop stuffs like that. And as a developer, we tend to try to find a way of creating a soft or creating a product as fast as possible, so that will get cash, then does disappear based on what we based on how we were actually. So we're using a lot of templates, using a lot of mockups. Sorry, not mockups. Yeah, templates, already used code, all those kind of things. This is the base story, backstory rather. So at the end of the day, we found out that some issues, there are always problems, there are always this, there are always that, and then we're like, okay, how can we make things better? That was my question. That was the question I asked myself. How can I make it better? How can I learn to make my team better? How can I learn to make more money from this? So that was when I went into designs at first, then started doing design, then later moved into branding, then later moved into digital marketing in full. So I was like a jack of all trades when it comes to the tech space of sorts, digital marketing, branding, and I was a developer again, designs. So it was like, I'm everywhere, but I'm nowhere. So I was looking for I was looking for something to define who I was. Before, I think 2018, I used to call myself digital consultant. I was calling myself digital consultant because there was no name. I didn't know the name to call myself of sorts, because I knew too many things, and I was doing too many things rather. Then one day I was researching and I saw, I think LinkedIn, I saw Enoverlabs, and I saw become a PM, become a product manager. Then I just read through and I was like, okay, wow, this is me, right? I was like, this is me. I was like, this is who I am. This is who I want to be. Okay. So that was the first day. I think that same day I sent a message to Blessing, and Blessing was so kind. I think 2 weeks later, not 2 weeks later, a day or a week later, I can't remember what exactly. She called me. I was like, yeah, you noted you wanted to join to Enoverlab and become a product manager. I was like, yeah. How much was it? Blah, blah, blah. Long story short, signed up. Funny enough, I feel like I was the only, Olabanji can attest to this. During my time, I was the only PM Olabanji taught. So he took his time on me. And
You are the
he poured everything straight to my head. So I was also receiving from direct source. It was like one-on-one session every single Tuesday and every single Thursday. So that was the process. So that was how I became a PM, right? That was like my journey of sorts. So I really enjoyed time, and it made me understand why I was doing what I was doing in the first place. Because before, it was just all about, okay, let's just do it. Let's just create softwares. We didn't care about the why. We didn't care about the who we're working for. We didn't care about, we didn't usually care about the money at that time, or we didn't understand how to make the money. Let me put it that way. We cared about the money. We always care about the money, but we never cared about how we make the money from the product, right? It was after I did the PM work, doing ads changed. The way my approach on doing a lot of things changed. So that was the goal. But alongside, every single thing changed because mindsets. I don't know how to explain it well, but it's gave me a better light of sorts to things that I myself never expected before. So that's the story, backstory, and the rest. Listen,
jack of all trade, Matthew.
I beg you.
All right. Okay, so let me just ask you. So, how did you get your first PM job, Matthew?
I'll say this, right? You have to be patient, right? And you have to work hard. Patience and work hard. After Enoverlabs, I did a test. I did a lot of volunteer work. A lot of volunteer work. I did and I was applying. One thing I did, what I said to myself, every day I apply for 10 jobs on LinkedIn, 10 jobs on Indeed, every single day. 10 on LinkedIn, 10 on Indeed. I made a commitment to myself, and I did that. Had a lot of interviews, a lot, to be honest with you. And the problem is that the more I felt, the more I did the interviews, the more I understood what people wanted, right? I understood why, what they want, how they wanted it, or how they want every individual to be. And I understood their approach to things of sorts. And I understood that every company defines the word product manager differently. Every single company defines the word product manager differently. Like the role I'm in, originally they said is a project manager role. But when they sent me the job description, is a technical PM, is a technical product manager role. I was like, you guys should define your stuffs well. But that's when I began to understand what people make define things. But my job was actually very random. The first one was they just called me from my church. They just called me and said, "Alpha Matthew, we heard you're a PM." I was like, "Yes." He said, "Oh yeah, please come." That's how that one ended. It was so random. The second one was sort of like a recommendation of sorts. A friend of mine that I did a volunteer work for had a friend that was working in Russia. So he was like, Alpha, he has somebody that's a PMO. That guy was like, he's looking for PMs, blah, blah, blah. Then out of nowhere, the call was made. Then I was contacted. Then I did interview upon interview. Then wrote a test, did another test, did an interview, then got the job. It was so random, but it wasn't as random. It was not. It seemed random rather, but it was because of the consistency of sorts, the work that you put in place with the not just the volunteering, right, but also the internships you do, the things you put online on LinkedIn. Because there's a reason why they contacted me, because they went to my LinkedIn and all they could see was PM work, PM product tear down blog. I created a product tear down blog, so they read through. Even guys from Noja 360, and I have a developer friend that works there, so he was like alpha. So those kind of things give me a little bit of push, I'll say, right? I won't say. I don't know if anybody knows Noja 360 here, but yeah, that's the kind of processes that I went through to get what I wanted actually as a PM. So, but now we thank God.
You say we thank. All right, thank you so much, Matthew, for that one. So I'm just going to take the toll back to Ibukun. So I'm just going to take it Ibukun B, then back to Matthew. Right. So, of course, there would be challenges, and I mean, it's your first PM job, yeah, and you must. I mean, I don't think anyone would say it is all rosy and smooth, right? Has there been challenges, and how have you managed those challenges, right? Ibukun. Is it because yeah? Ibukunoluwa, can you hear me? Okay, Ibukun is not here. I'm sure she's having issues with her network. So let's just go to B. Then we would have Ibukun later.
Yeah. Okay. Ibukun, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah. Ibukun, do you want to go ahead?
It's fine. You can continue. I'll take mine after.
All right.
All right. Okay. For me, well, the journey has been smooth, rough, but I think it's part of the process. And firstly, what I will first say is, whenever you are applying for a job, whenever you are trying to transition into PMs or get a new company, please make sure you understand the culture of that company, because it will go a long way for you. So having said that, I think, oh, okay, I was fortunate that the culture of the company was okay and was friendly. It was friendly for us to work, and in terms of relationship. But having said that, there are still challenges I faced in terms of settling down, because I think that's a major thing. Because when you are just joining a team, when you are just joining an organization for the first time, you find yourself not settling, and it was a big challenge for me. But thankfully for my team, they were really supportive. But even at that, you get, when they are talking this, when they are talking that, I was like, oh, what's going on? I don't understand. Do you get? So and one of those things that one of the challenges I had was when they are talking in terms, when you're talking with some code, and I was like, me, I don't understand this. At some point, I was like, oh, what's this? I don't know anything. Like, so, and one of those things we did then was while we were doing our onboarding them to the team, we kind of form the new PMs, we kind of form a support system for ourselves. So the essence of it was basically that, so that we can encourage ourselves, because that time was very, very, was not funny. I could hear from some of my colleagues then, they were like, at some point in their time they have to cry because it was looking as if what are they doing at the moment. And I think I was talking to a friend of mine that joined. She was in another job. She was thinking maybe she has to go back or stuff like that. I was like, you still have to stay if you want to, but I believe this is where you are meant to be. But the essence is just that, yes, there's a lot of challenge. For me to understand the product, because I was, for my team, we are working with about 3 products, and that was very, very huge. And the expectation was very high, because we need to deliver on time and to deliver a good product. So sometimes it might take me up to midnight for me I might be doing reading or going through the product work through for almost a day and not doing anything. Do you get? And I still have chunks of work to do. So for me, it was not easy, and so that was a major challenge I have. And in terms of syncing with my team, it was a little bit hard, because one, you need to understand the flow of how they are talking. They have been together, the connectivity is there. But you that is just coming in, it's going to be quite hard. But luckily, like I said, I have a good team, and they were very friendly and free. So they were able to patch me in, and from that process, I was getting better. But yeah, there's still a lot of challenge. But at least for me to get familiar with the team first, that was it for me. Thank you.
Okay, nice. Let's have Ibuku.
Okay, so I mentioned earlier that I am very, very new to the role. Yeah, so I could just talk about preparation, because I ought to have, resumed, but because I currently have a job, when I was talking earlier, I told you I had
Yeah,
so
you
many
mentioned.
things. Yeah, that I had other things I was doing. They were all remote and all. So I built on something. So I knew that I needed a lot of time to, balance myself if I want to do this job and also maintain what I have. So I gave myself like few weeks, because they gave me the option of choosing when to resume, and that's the reason why I'm even yet to resume. Like, okay, so I gave myself few weeks to settle in, dot all the I's, cross all the T's, so that I know that I'm going all in. But regarding preparation for resumption, it's hybrid. So I reached out to some of my friends that are already in product management roles, and one of the major advice that I ran through, at least I'm into the job description, is junior PM. So I'm really grateful it is that, considering the fact that I feel like I have so much to learn in product management. I'm barely up to a year in, and I reached out to them, and they're like, I should make Google my friend, and I should take things easy, take things in stride. So this will probably be the things that I'll be doing when I resume. And I like the culture. I got a vibe of the culture of the company during the interview, and even based on interaction with the product team and the head of product, they are transitioning into entrepreneurship. They want to build products that can serve people, and that's really like my background. And basically, because I had gone into developing several products, I think in the space of like 6 months I developed close to like 6 products. I was doing maybe like a product a month. Some failed, some are thriving, and some were just abandoned. And that's the culture I'm going into. And I know there will be challenges, there will be, but I think one of the things I'll be doing will be taking things in stride, learning from my mistakes, and giving it my best shot.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much for that one. Let's have Matthew. Matthew.
Okay. Thank you, Blessing. Okay. First of all, I'm going to reiterate what B said. If you don't understand the culture of or how you don't do research on that on the institute you're trying to get into, you might just be in trouble of sorts because you'll be able to adapt easily to what they have in mind. Because it's at least the research prepares you, yeah, prepares your mind for what to expect. Even when you get there, you may see some changes, or you may see a lot of things that are different or more than what you expect. But it gives you a starting ground of sorts. So that's very, very important for me, exactly for me especially because I knew that this institute, the company I was joining, they deliver like a ton of projects, a lot of projects, a lot of products, a lot of products. So you're doing a lot of research. You're doing a lot of research. You're doing a lot of trying to keep people in deadline, trying to help people reach a particular point. So it's extremely difficult, but you have to prepare yourself for it. So I prepared myself for it to an extent. When I got in, they just threw me into the lion's den. That was like my first. That was like the first tough thing. I had a deadline I had to reach. I feel this, and I'm not badging anybody. If designers don't give you problem, you have not started working as a PA. So design team is a problem for me till now, and but one thing, it took me a while. I think over a month, yeah, to understand each individual in my team, right, and understand the psychology of each individual. Right now, it's I've learned to communicate properly with them and understand how each individual thinks to a certain extent. That way, I can make sure that they actually get the work done. Understanding the individual, because what I did was that I did research on every single individual that was in my institute. I took them as products. I took every single individual in my institute as products. When I did research on them, understood who they were, right? It's made communicating with them easier, right? Because there was a particular individual that he doesn't. You send him a message, he won't respond to you. So it's what I said to him was like outside company, outside work. I was just teasing the guy constantly. So we're chatting outside work constantly, like in a particular manner. So when I go to work, we'll be chatting in that same manner, but we're working. Every individual are different, every single individual. So I took every single person as a product and it became seamless. I think is right now it is better, right? Aside reaching deadline, yeah. Deadline is always going to be a problem. But at the end of the day, it's understanding each individual. It took me a while to get that. It took me a while to get that. It took me a month to get that. But at the moment, I'm getting better and we're growing. So yes, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that one. I mean, like Matthew will say, like Matthew said, rather, somebody will always, there's just going to be somebody that would always be a pain in the neck in a product development team. For some, it's developers. For some, it's designers. Right. I think I have like one more question or two. Okay, let me just ask. What have you guys enjoyed, in like getting into this product management thing? What have you enjoyed? What is that thing that is really enjoyable? right? Um, yes, Matthew, go first. Matthew first, Ibukun, then back to Billy.
What have I enjoyed? I will say the work. Honestly, I will say the work. Like there is one thing to train yourself for a year, right? On something, and it's another thing to actually achieve that goal of sorts. So you took 1 full year, cut yourself from a lot of things. So the fulfillment itself, that's one out there I enjoyed. The other thing is, of course, the money now, but other thing is the culture of the institute that works. So it's a working culture. Is a culture that works. Is a functioning institute that's working well. So joining them, trying to improve that system is good. Then the fulfillment itself from the 1 year long run, the pause. You stop your life for 1 full year just to get one thing done, and at the end of the day, you did. So that's the thing that you have to understand. That's one thing that was really fulfilling for me, anyways. So yeah.
Nice. Okay, let's have Ibukun. Ibukun, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Okay. So, like I said earlier, I'm just going to speak from the experience I've had before, like building products. I think for me, what I've enjoyed in building products is having a solution for people. Like literally, people reach out, and then um, you can solve their problem. It's really huge for me. Like you're a solution bringer. Like things that are really challenging for people, you're providing seamless process. That's really huge for me, and that's one thing I keep enjoying despite all of the challenges I face. I look forward to enjoying more things when I resume my role as a in this new firm. But like developing my products, starting up products, starting up teams with my colleagues and friends. I think one of the things I've really enjoyed is, discovering new problems, new challenges, and finding a way to solve it. Just that light bulb moment. Oh, this thing can be solved, and it's actually a pain for someone, and I'm the one solving it. Like that's really huge for me, very very huge for me. Like you come to me, and then I can solve it, and it's not that I'm just giving you maybe coke. Coke doesn't really solve a problem per se. It just delights you, but like I think Banji says there are different products. That there are some products that solve need, and then there are some products that it's just lifestyle upgrade. But when you have a product that actually solves a need for someone that people are willing to pay for, I think the joy there is bliss, and you keep working at it until you find that golden spot. So I really enjoy solving people's problem as a product manager, finding those problems and finding a good way to solve those problems.
Wow.
Yeah.
Passionate PM. A very passionate PM. Right. uh, let's have B. Hi, B. How you there?
Yeah. All right, I'm there. So for me, it's two things. Okay. For my end is the team. Because as a team we were able to talk to each other. Like we have this mind that we speak to the reality of things. We don't tend to bend words because I think that was one of those things that helped us in our product. I can say when I joined the team, I think they just formed the three products to us, and we were able to move from one from actually we have the overall best, second best when last year. So the essence was we were able to bring this the product from where it was to something nice that customer can use, and it was not just because we just built the product. It was because we all of us had the connectivity, and yes, because a PM job without your team support is nothing. So for me, it's connectivity first because that was what gave us a great output. So for me, it's what I enjoy more. And there are still some areas like loopholes that we need to do because there were some things we talked about. But I believe that connectivity, if you build it first, then you can build a awesome product from there. So that's from my hand.
Nice, nice. Thank you very much for sharing. We have people raising their hands and they want to ask questions. I have a question. I have one last one last question. But before the last question that I want to ask, I'll just allow other people as well ask their questions. Right? Let's have Babatunde Chopin. Hi, Babatunde. Please unmute and ask your question.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, everyone, and good evening to the panel. My name is Babatunde. I'm a current Enoverlab Quad 16 enrollee. So my question goes to, I don't know, maybe I should direct it to B or Matthew. Or my questions are just two. The first is, as a PM, what's your day-to-day? What's your day-to-day activity? And also, I would like to know if you usually have some specific KPIs that are assigned to you. Because sometimes these things can be vague, because sometimes it feels like what we do basically maybe doesn't have a particular track or anything used to measure it, but I'd like to know what's your day to day,
Okay.
Do you go first?
Anybody can go first.
All right.
B.
Okay. Let me go
Ibukun,
ahead. All right.
Matthew, anyone.
All right. My day-to-day work basically goes like that. In the morning, early in the morning, we have Scrum stand up, and basically we before the stand up, there is always a notification where we get from the teams, we get what they worked on yesterday and what they are intending to work today. So that's what we are going to be using for our stand-ups. So from there, we'll be able to see basically what they've worked on and be able to provide maybe job prescription in terms of they need a PRD on that particular product. So that's that. That's just the basic work we do. Then from our end, we do more research. Like I said, we work on 3 to 4 products. We have some customer support reports we need to check, and we have some meetings. And like I said, we do more collaboration. Why? Because we feel like when we sing together, do you get, as a team, it always gives us an edge because we always look at for every possible scenario building that product, because we don't want a situation where we build a product and we don't look at all the scenario, and at the end of it will not be able to achieve the expected result outcome when we are doing demos, because every two weeks we always run demo of each product we build. So that's for that. Then for KPIs, definitely yes, we have a KPI we work with, and it depends on the team. For us, one of our KPIs is basically stability of the product, because like I said, it's a wide product and it's just not only our team that is working. So stability, user experience must be smooth and stuff like that. So, and for my hand, they used to measure the number of working hours we do and be able to, from there, be able to measure what we've done and the performance, what I've been able to build and like that. So it's a long list of stuff we do, but that's just a summary of what I can say now. Thanks.
Okay. Matthew. Matthew,
Okay.
do you have anything to add?
I would say it's sort of similar with bees. Of course, in the early mornings, stand up with, of course, the team. That's the focus. We try to understand, okay, what feature I'm working on this week, what part of the feature I'm working on today, as well. Then I'm trying to see how we can get that done within a particular time period of sorts. Then please, I have a question. It's a process of sorts. A lot of research will be done because Okay, I think I have to give context of sorts. Okay, I work in a game. I work in the game industry, So you have to understand what a gamer wants. You have to understand what a gamer desires. Why a game should, let me use the word, blow of sorts, right? Why that particular game, what particular thing in a game will make users want it or want to use that particular game or per se. So you have to understand, first of all, you have to understand who are the gamers. First of all, so where are these gamers and the rest before you start doing. So a lot of research are done. For me, when as pertains to KPIs, uh, all they care about, that's all my bosses care about, is that I deliver a particular feature every week. Every week, one particular feature should be out. They don't care how I do it. They don't care that I do it. Okay, that's literally my. So for every month, I should have I should have 5 features out. For every month, I should have 5 features out. I can go out with 4, right? But I can actually pull 5. So that's my structure of sorts. That's my measuring standard of it. That's why I said that I was training to be a Lions Den. So a
Right.
lot of things, yeah, that's how they work. So
Because five
that's
feet.
how.
Yo,
Yeah, 5 features. 5 features. Yeah, it may seem difficult, right? Yeah, but that's one thing. If you have a if you have a planned structure, right, you're actually doing the right research, right? You're doing the
mm-hmm.
right research. You're getting the right data, right, that you need for
Right.
yourself, right? That I use a lot. I use Pendo a lot. I use pulling a lot of information. I do a lot of research. I do a lot of data driven stuff like that. Just trying to find information from whatever and wherever, right?
Right.
Gamers are everywhere, so you try and find them and understand their mindsets. Check reviews, check a lot of things. So that's my processes each single day. And your PRD always updates. Your PRD
Mm.
cannot like remain the same, right? Because of the ideas people have or what people want. They must be trending. Just yesterday, yeah, Friday, I dropped the priority for a particular product because I saw that people were no more as interested in that particular feature as they were a month ago. A month ago, I wanted that feature out, right? Immediately. The feature was so difficult that it took us it's taking us close to 2 months to get it done. But uh, because of I saw that because some people going in people's interest in that particular feature was dropping. I had to push it back. I said, okay, we'll focus on it, but let's focus on something that's more important at the moment. So those are the things you have to look after, in and out. You always have to be updated. Always have to update. So that's what you have to do. That's like the day to day for you.
Right. Thank you very much for that one, Matthew. I would have asked to share ours, but like she said, she's just about to resume a role like very, very soon. So yeah. Let's have another question. Someone is raising. Okay, Lama Kojola is raising his hands. I don't know. He dropped his hand. Okay, he's raising his hand. Sorry.
Sorry, can
Sheung.
I ask a
Okay.
question, please?
Sheung. Okay. Um. Yeah, you can just go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. I really appreciate everyone. Thank you, um, Blessing. Thank you, Bukun. Thank you, B, and everyone that has shared their experience. So I'm asking this question, and I'm trying to be as open as possible. So currently, I'm in the business management or development field, and in this field, I think that I'm progressing real good. At least from my monthly salary, I think I'm progressing really good. But I have a knack towards or I'm trying to pivot in career towards product management, and I'm having a bit of fear, or I don't know how to put it, but this is it.
from okay, so for my current salary, I'm earning at least not up to 500,000, but almost close to 500,000. And let's say, okay, let's put the mark at say 300, and I'm trying to pivot into product management. So taking an example from what Ibukun shared, and of course, I think general, across board, when you're going into a new career, you want to maybe start from a lower cadre or something like that. And so the question is in two ways. One is it possible to start like a manager without being a junior product manager, even though I have friends that are product managers, and of course I ask them, we talk quite often. And two, if someone wants to start coming as say a junior product manager or maybe an assistant product manager, um, okay, so why I'm a bit skeptical about that is because in next 6 to 3 months I'm getting married. It might be a little bit difficult for me coming down. If I was still like single guy, just did it like that, I could just take the risk, just giving a production and a career change, no wala, just matter of time. Uh, but looking at what I have coming up and the risk, right? I'm trying to be careful not to take too much risk as of now. All right. So, what's your take on that? First, is a startup? No, my sorry. Starting my career as a product manager. What's the possible least expected remuneration? Actually, looking at is it safe to just pivot like that, knowing what's coming up for me currently, and using the example, let's say currently my salary is around 300. What do you have to say? I don't know who I'm directing this question to, but I'm sure there are a lot of good product managers with good experience here. Can just
Mm.
help me out. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, Shenwoket. It's great to hear you. I really do not want to answer your question, but I think Banji has the right answer to this your question. Yes, Banji, would you be willing to say something, one or two things for Shil to
Oh, yeah, sure, I would, sure, I would. Okay, good evening, everyone. Nice one. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So, good evening, everyone. Nice one, Seun, for being very open and direct. I think it's just sometimes you just have to be open and direct so that, uh, as they used to say, if you do not ask for help, nobody is going to help you, right? So that you ask for help and product management not carry where you don't know. So, but yeah, that's on the lighter mode. So the thing I always say when it comes to this, right? I still said it. I think I said it sometimes back. We had a session on how to come into product management sometimes back, and I said it that especially when you have prior experience, you've been doing other things, maybe for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, possibly, right? And there is that fear of, am I going to now leave again whatever salary I'm collecting right now and start from the bottom? And which is natural, really. I cannot come and be sugarcoating it that, oh, it's not going to work like that. But however, what you can do to reduce that risk of saying you want to start from a junior PM, a junior role, with coming down your salary range, probably half your salary range or a whole down way your salary range, is to transition within the same industries that you have experience in, right? I think that is one of the safest way to do it, to transition within the same industry. So say, for example, you've worked in the entertainment industry for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, right? So you have like industry experience, even though you don't have product management inside the entertainment industry, but you have industry experience. You know how the entertainment industry flies. You know what's happening in the entertainment industry. You are not even though you're not doing product management in the entertainment industry, maybe for example, say you're a business developer or business analyst or so, right? You might not know like product management, but you understand what's happening in that industry because you have industry experience. So your best bet to still be able to keep a good salary, right, and to be able to start at a point where you're not starting like from the scratch,
but you're starting like from a place where your experience comes in as a leverage, especially your industry experience, right? And I always say that I've also seen people say that, oh, I'm tired of that industry. I don't want to work in that industry anymore, which is also fine, right? But your best bet, if you want to still keep, the type of salary that you earn, again, this does not guarantee that you earn the same salary, but at least it will prevent you from starting like from the bottom up, because you are bringing in industry experience, right? So you're able to bring in industry experience. So instead of you now saying, okay, you want to move from whatever you do right now in the entertainment industry, and you want to now move to maybe something like e-commerce. You don't have any experience in e-commerce. So you can't expect Jumia or Konga to hire you and pay you 400, 500K when you don't have any industry experience in e-commerce, even though you have 10 years experience in entertainment. They will not do that. It's just normal. So instead, your best bet would be to switch from wherever you are right now, let's say entertainment industry, you now switch to another entertainment company, but now as a product manager. So you're bringing in industry experience, the entertainment industry experience into that company. Now, even if you don't want to stay in entertainment forever, obviously you might not want to stay in entertainment again, but you need to start from there to at least get your foot into the door. Right. So industry experience definitely will always help. Industry experience, right? Coming into the industry that you already have some sort of experience in, right? And then use that to leverage yourself in. So that will increase your pay because you are bringing in industry knowledge, you are bringing in industry experience. Then secondly is to say you work for a company and the company is a product company or a tech company already, but you're not doing product management there. You can just transition within the company, just switch departments. Talk to your HR team or the HR personnel. Oh, I'm currently in the business development team, right? Or business development department. I want to switch to the tech unit or the product unit. And you can do like an internal switch within the current organization. So you at least give yourself a foot into the door, right? That way you will not even, obviously they cannot decrease your salary because you are within the same company. You're just switching departments. Do you get? So that's like two major ways that you can easily do this, right? So you switch within the same company, which obviously that's like the most easiest one, or you switch companies but within the same industry. So you are bringing in industry knowledge to help that organization, because every company is looking for who is going to help them, right? So if you say you've worked, again, like I used the example earlier, maybe you worked in agric for 7 years and now you won't become a product manager, but what you have done in the agric industry is more of maybe operations management or business operations or something, right? Now you don't want to do product management. So instead of just switching from the agric industry to maybe fintech or health tech, move to another agric-based startup, maybe an agric tech, right? You are bringing in industry knowledge of 7 years in the agric industry, but now you're coming in as a product manager. So you can be able to sustain your salary, whatever you're currently earning, right? Or stay around that range. It's not going to go like way down, like you start from the bottom kind of a thing. You're still able to sustain that salary range and still get into that industry and still be able to work as a PM, despite not even having a product management experience. But what you're using to cover up in that space is industry experience. So don't let me talk too much, but those are the two things that will help. Move it within the same industry, move within the same company. You're able to sustain your salary, you're able to sustain your, also maybe your prestige or, and all of that that comes with what you do right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you very much, Banji. Sheon, I hope this would come in really handy for you, right? And again, thank you for being, really open. It takes courage and, people that are actually willing to get to do something. And I must say, you're an analyst. So let me just stop there. Okay, let's have Olama Kojola. I still have questions for.
Sorry to cut your blessing. Shay,
Okay.
you want to say anything? Is this Shay or Sheon?
Yes.
Shay, my name is Shay.
Okay. Do you have any
I'm calling him Shay. Sorry.
Shay, is that clear?
So
Do you
yes,
have
I
other
got
questions?
you.
Okay, great. Let's have Olama Controller. Olama Controller. Hi, Ola. Please do well to unmute. Let's have your question.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you
Good evening.
for the insightful insights that I've received today. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Ebukun. Thank you, B. Thank you, Olabanji. And Chi's question, thank you very much. It informed some decisions too. So, particularly, my question is about interviewings and all of those things. I understand that, or we all agree that a particular aspect of an interview is the CV, which has to be able to communicate. But how do you advise that someone who is just entering, someone who just transitions, someone who is starting out, taking courses and all of those things, are trying to apply for jobs? How do you advise that such a person builds a CV? For instance, I have a digital marketing experience, product marketing and digital marketing experience. I also have some other copywriting, growth marketing experience. So, and now I'm transitioning into product. I started doing volunteering work. I'm currently building a product with a team. I'm hoping to build a startup. So, but I want to apply for jobs. How do you advise that I build? Do I build based on basically the product management related things that I've done? That's the volunteering and the current activity I'm doing with that team, or build a CV around what I have, my journey so far, and sort of apply with that? So that's my particular question. And yes, that's my question.
Okay, who is going to help us answer this question? Matthew, B,
Okay.
Ibukun.
Um, okay, good question actually. Ola. I'll say this because this was a personal question for me, and that I think there's a talk about this on YouTube that what we have done. That Olabaji, is it Olabaji? Yeah, Olabaji took one. I call him Uncle Olabaji. Sorry, Uncle Olabaji took one. So you take your CV as a product. Okay, that's one thing you do. And for every institute, right, that you apply to, CV is different. That's what I did, anyways. If I show you my folder, my CV is like but you'll see I wrote Matthew Hans-Bello, PM, then the name of the company. Matthew Hans-Bello, PM, then the name of the company. Every single company had different CVs. Why? Because not because I was changing, not because I was changing the full structure. The full structure remained the same, but if it's the company I want to work for at the end of the day, hopefully, is Main Stack. Okay, I don't know if you guys know Main Stack or so, but they do a lot of like promotion, branding of sorts. It's like a one-page product, right, where you can promote yourself of sorts. So when I was applying to become a PM there, I didn't get a job anyways. But when I was applying, I structured it in the angle of I have experience in branding, right? I had experience in branding, right? Then I put product and work I've done before, right? That relates to that. Same thing when I was applying to Paystack. Same thing when I was applying to this is a quick check. Quick check. Same thing I was applying to every single institute I applied to, right, have a different CV, because why? You've done the research. If you do a research to that particular institute, your CV will change, because when you read through your CV, you will know by yourself. You need to remove this one. You need to put this one. You need to do not lie, please. Oh, do not lie. Tell the truth at all times, because they will know. Right? But always use your CV is like the first point, the first missing point. Look at their description, look at what they're after, look at what they're looking for, do a research on them. Why do they need this particular individual this way? Then fit your CV to that particular nature of sorts. So that's what I did constantly. For the first period, for the first 3-4 months when I was applying, I didn't do that. Yeah, that's why I wasn't called for interviews. But when I started changing my CVs for every company I applied to. That's when I started getting calls. So that's one thing you have to take note of. Take your CV as a product, right? You do research for that CV before you just submit something. If I see a what you call advert, at least 2 to 3 hours before I send in a what you call a request. That's how that's how before I apply rather. That's how I was doing mine. So that's one thing you have to take note of actually. Don't just apply or have one CV down. Or start applying. No, you'll cast.
Right. Always take your CV as a product. Like that's very important. I think that was our thing in Enoverlab last year. Like at some point, it was our thing. Like always make sure that you take your CV as important as the role or as what it is that you really are. See your CV as a product. Right. Let's have B.
All right. Sorry. Ola, are you currently doing a course on PM with Enoverlab?
No, I'm not taking a course with Enoverlab. Although I've taken some courses with some other institutions, Appleton and Product School.
Okay. All right. Why I was asking that is from my hand, like I said, I was not originally a product person. I switched from engineering, and definitely my CV will never talk more about that. So I think what really helped me was whatever I did, I make sure that it's aligned to product. Do you get? And why I was asking whether you are doing your program with Enoverlab was because we have some some program we do like launchpad section. The essence of it is that they want you to practicalize this and what you've learned, build a product PLD, and these are those things you can put in your CVs. Do you get? So and also too, there's an internship program too about it that after you're done you can do. So assuming, I'm just saying, for example, assuming you were there, that will have helped you build your CV to some extent. But having said that, and you said you are still working that, just what you can do basically is first of all, for me, what I would advise you do is whenever you see a role, check a particular opportunity, check the roles that are there, relate it to what you've done, and just make it like just a target. Like, okay, for example, I'm just giving an example. For me, I say I work for like I've done customer research with 50 or 60 people. Let there be an analytic towards it so that they can know that, okay, you are really a product person, you talk with numbers, you get not just summaries. So for me, that is what I would just advise. Thanks. I hope it helps you.
Okay. Thank you very much, B. That makes sense. Ibukun, would you like to add something to this before we just round up the session? Oh, we have a hand up. Okay, Ibukun, do you have anything to say? Oh, Ibukun left. Okay, Benedict, just ask your question and let's see if we can tend to it so that we can just round up. Hey, Benedict.
Hello, can you hear me? Good evening.
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. It's been an exciting meeting. I didn't even know how I came on. I didn't even know when I registered for this meeting. I just got a text a few minutes ago, and I don't have to log in. And I've been very happy with what I've been hearing here. When Matthew was speaking, his story touched me particularly, but I have similar experience. But because of time, let me just rush directly to my question. Currently, I've been doing product management courses and stuff for the past, let's say, 8 months. I jumped into product management sometime last year because of someone referred me to a course on entry level, something like that. So when I took the course, it was I was passionate about it. I loved the course because I discovered that I didn't know about product management particularly, but I've been unconsciously doing product management because I'm an entrepreneur. I have a startup I'm trying to build. Okay, so I discovered that I already have a kind of experience in this, but I don't know I was doing it unconsciously. So long story short, as it stands now, I've done like a couple of courses in product management. I want to see if I can get an opportunity Why I'm building my startup, I still want to see if I can get an opportunity to work and then, have the experience in product management. But when I think someone, I forgot, I think maybe it's Ibukunoluwa or someone, she talked about LinkedIn, how you have to optimize your LinkedIn. I think it's Matthew that said that having product management related stuff on your LinkedIn every time, it helps people to know what you're working on and your growth strategy and stuff like that. But someone like me who is already building a startup in another sector, I'm into renewables, right, renewable energy. If you go to my LinkedIn page, more of what you see there is it's about energy transition, clean energy, sustainability, and stuff like that. So I have this friction trying to, transit, start posting about products and stuff like that. I feel it made people feel like, okay, you are talking about this, you're talking about, like, I have another experience even in tech. I've done software before, but I don't post about software. So I want to know, what do you guys think about this? What do you think is the best strategy for someone like me who is developing a startup? My startup, I've not raised funding, but I intend to do the business thing or the entrepreneurship long term. I don't want to be a product management all my life, but I feel it's something I already known. I've built an experience around it. In fact, I have a software product I'm working on now, and I've been doing the product management thing with them for the past few months. But I want to get an opportunity, paid opportunity in it. So how do I go about it? Thank you.
Okay. Hi, Benedict. Okay. Because of time, right? I would have really spoken more on this, but I think the first step would have to be you registering for a course proper, because, like you said, you're kind of everywhere, and you don't want, you're just like Matthew, jack of all trades, but you're trying to find a name for, that thing that is you, right? So
Yeah.
first, I would suggest that you just first go ahead to take a product management course, a proper product management course that would help you just put yourself or put things in shape for you to be able to say, okay, oh, yes, this is the way I'm going. But then I'll just allow Banji to just, speak on this. Unfortunately, after Banji answers this question, I have like one just a touch round our speaker so that we can end the session. The session is supposed to end 44 minutes ago, right? But it's been an insightful
I
session.
wish you could continue. That's awesome. I wish you could continue.
Right.
I'm really enjoying
Somebody
this
just
actually.
said-
I didn't even know how I
said that to me.
registered. I didn't know what I registered for this. I just saw a text message
Right.
on my phone a few minutes
Right.
ago. I have to log in, and I'm happy to be here actually. I'm very
Right.
happy to be here. Thank you.
Right. Thank you
Okay.
very much for that one.
Let
Someone
me
is also
quickly-
saying we should not stop. So Banji, please.
All right, let me quickly chip in, right? So I think if you are here and you have, you've been like more like an accidental PM, many times people who have done multiple different things, I think that they can fit into product management quite well. I also have done multiple different things literally in the last, say, 7 years to 8 years myself, so before even coming into product management. So it's sort of, I think it helps because you're sort of like diverse. But just to simplify things, and I think that's how Matthew's stories, and I think Matthew's story sort of like exemplify that kind of person. So basically, just like Blessing has said, I think she has answered the question. So you want to just go through a proper training. I think when you go through a proper training, right, not just because another thing is that people go through a lot of different online trainings, maybe a pre-recorded training, and there are quite a number of them out there. But I think that everybody needs something hands-on. When you have something much more hands-on, where you can relate with somebody, you can talk to a PM, you can reach out to somebody, it significantly helps. Right, like when you're able to have, you can talk to somebody, you can reach out to a mentor, you can reach out to a senior PM and an experienced PM, it significantly helps. So instead of you just taking, pre-recorded videos, Coursera courses, they're not bad, so don't get me wrong, right? But if you're not yet a product manager, you won't really get it. You will not just get it, Shani. I don't know. There's no better way to put it. You will not just get it, Sha. right? But when you have gone through a hands-on training where you have somebody take you hands-on, one-on-one or personally or in a class structure, it sort of helps you have a better foundation. You can then go from that hands-on training and go and take any other pre-recorded course and you'll be fine. I'm just saying this from even my own personal experience, and I'm sure a lot of persons who have gone through Enoverlab, you know, they finish their training and then they're able to decipher or break down what should they learn and what should they not learn. That's the challenge with if you just go and take plenty of, you know, take one course on Udemy, take one free course on Coursera, take another free course on this thing. They are not bad, but what happens is that you just have trailer load of information, but you cannot really congest it into something that is practical. So that's the challenge with doing that, which is where many people find themselves. They have trailer load of information. They have taken all the different online courses in the world and all of that, but still they can't be able to get into something practical that can really work, that you can be able to put into the job and do. So that's where the hands-on training comes in better. You have a hands-on training, you can talk to a teacher, you can talk to an instructor, and that just makes the work a whole lot more easier for you. I think that's the, if in short, when you go through a hands-on training, every other thing you want to do as a product manager becomes much more easier because you have access to it. You have access to a community, you have access to your friends. You know, just like Ibukun talked about how you know, friendship within the community assisted her a lot. And I've seen some, you know, some of these things in terms of how they come together, they build products together, they had conversations together. I remember Ibuku Squad in particular, they were doing it every single week, like she said. I think they were very diligent with their own tear down, like every single week they were doing tear downs, you know. So there was this more of a team environment that helps you boost your confidence in product that you really will not get just with maybe an online training that you're just watching by yourself and learning by yourself. So I think that will solve a lot of problem for you. If you are here on this call, you are not yet a product manager, you have taken some online courses, you are still struggling, your best bet is to go hands-on. Sincerely, everything becomes much more easier when you're go hands-on. You have access to PMs, you have access to those that are learning like you. Then just like what we do at Enoverlab, like B said, we work on projects. That project gets you to do practical product management. Then we also put you into open source internships, you know, especially when you go through the advanced program, where you also get to now work more intensely, where you get to build a product in real time. Your project, you work on a project by the side. Your internship, you get to build a real-time product, like in real life, where you work with team of developers, designers, right, for another 6 to 7 weeks remotely, and you get like tangible experience, which can now be added to your CV as a work experience, and you can be able to use it from there. Your confidence really builds out. I hardly ever see anybody go through that cycle completely and not be able to go out there and do their job effectively. Like, you get trained, you have that access to a mentor, you have that access to a community, you go through the internship. There is no way you cannot go out from there and do product management without any fear.
100. Yes. Thank you very much.
Banji, sorry, blessing. Sorry for cutting out. I know that you're trying to just started to make
Taking time. You people.
Enoverlab, yes, Enoverlab. I went to Enoverlab's web page. I saw the offers on product management, and is it possible to have an offer for those that are those of us that have taken, say, a pre-recorded or some pre-recorded courses, all right? So it's not as if they are learning from scratch, right? Is it possible, because I see the offers on the page and it's almost basically for people that just begin their journey in.
I guess what you're trying to. I get what you're trying to say. The thing is, Enoverlab takes you right from the scratch. So even if you are taking the advanced class, Enoverlab is still going to take you from the scratch. So all those pre-recorded classes that the knowledge that you have gained from pre-recorded classes, you would realize that in a way, yes, they are good. Maybe you did not understand them, the way you should. Enoverlab is going to shaping that understanding, and it's just there's no way.
It's advisable to start from the scratch, even if you have gone to gym. So it's not bad for you to learn some things 2 times. right?
Yes,
It helps you even see, put the nail on the head better. But
exactly,
one thing is sure is that there are some things that many times you're not going to see in an online training that I know for
exactly.
sure. And I'm not trying to like maybe, and it's one of the reasons why I am really passionate about what we do at Enoverlab. Not because of we are doing what we do, but because I know that there are some things that cannot just come out in online training, except you are speaking to somebody that have experience. You cannot hear
100,
those. They are not going to
100.
share it. And then some other times you have PMs that are taking these things. They are foreigners. These guys are sharing with you ideas that you might not be able to implement in Nigeria and in Africa. And that's one of the things that Chioma talked about the other time. Chioma would talk
Yeah,
about that.
yeah.
We talked about
Obiokolo.
relying on foreign processes that cannot be implemented in Nigeria. Some of these
Yeah,
ideas that you learn from some of these online courses, they are not like really practical in African markets. You have
100.
to convert them into the Nigerian market space. So it's I'm always advisable that you take your trainings via, right. If you pre-recorded training from maybe a senior PM in Nigeria, an experienced PM in Nigeria, oh great, right? You're learning from somebody else. But if it's one person from India, one person from US, not that it's bad, but a lot of these ideas, the way we implement it in Nigeria and in African markets, there are a little bit of nuances and differences to it. It's not a copy and paste thing. So you need to understand it
Mhm.
in that Nigerian African way, and then still be able to understand it in a foreign way. So, it's still advisable that you start from the scratch and then you pick it up from there. And if there are things that you are learning it double times, which is not also bad as well.
Apart from that, Seth, all those pre-recorded classes, I'm sorry to say, you don't get to have class relationship. Um, you don't get to have colleagues that you discuss and brainstorm ideas with. So it's just really, you can't ask ahead like Matthew just typed in the chat box. You can't have you can ask questions in pre-recorded classes, but if you go through a structured proper training, you will be able to ask questions, just like Banji has said. You'll be able to ask questions, learn, unlearn, relearn, right? So yeah, that's majorly it. So we would be coming to the end of the session. It's been really an interesting one. So I just want to, yes, thank you very much for that one, guys, in the chat box. I see you. I just want to go around our speakers once again. That's from B, Ibuku, and Matthew. Right. I would just like to know what advice you guys have for aspiring PMs and PMs that have maybe just taken their training and they are looking to get jobs. What advice do you have for them? Who goes first? Let's have
All
Ibukun
right.
first.
Okay.
Is Ibukun here?
Yeah, I'm here. Um,
All right.
okay, so my advice is that, well, I believe everybody has different experience, and our journeys will always be different. But listening to every one of us talk about experiences, there are some things that would always ring true. That's consistency, keeping at it, don't give up, and also maybe working it, doing something. One thing I've learned is that whatever you don't use will depreciate. So whatever knowledge you've gotten in your PM school, Enoverlab class, apply it, start using it, get a product, find a solution, and try to solve problems. Is in you solving the problem, you are positioning yourself to that next PM role that you're looking for. So just continue. Eventually, it always adds up. Like, keep at it. The application process, you can have a rhythm to it. Oh, I'm going to apply 10, like Matthew said, or you can just say that I'm going to apply 2 and I'm going to give it my best. I don't think it's about, eventually it's just one application that you need. It's not about the volume, but whatever works for you. If you're going to go have a rhythm, let there be consistency. Don't just do things half-heartedly. Give it your best. And, whatever keep at it. I know that there was a time that all of this product management thing were really like, I remember I used to ask that, what's product PRD? What's this? Like even the product tear down too, it was a strange concept to me. And several things were strange to me. But, with practice, learning a thing and, putting it into practice, asking questions, using what I've learned. Now, I can't say the way I was when I started product management at Enoverlab. It's still the same way. I have more knowledge of things. But imagine if I had just taken the course and I just, kept applying. I was not, building myself. I was not doing anything special. I don't know, maybe I would still be struggling with design thinking. I might not be sure what design thinking is, but even in the interview too, whatever feedback you get, do not just take it as, oh, this is what someone thinks about me. Learn from it and find a way to improve on it. It's a journey, we keep getting better. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much, Ibukun, for that one. Let's have B.
All right. For me, Ibukun has really said all, but I would just say rejection is real. Even you are rejected in one particular job, keep applying. And also, the last thing I would say is that make sure you build a career, not just getting a job. So because building a career will help you a long way. Because even though there's no job, there's something to fall back to, and you always get people to call you for any role. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that one. That makes sense. Let's have Matthew.
Okay. Same thing with Ibukun. Ibukun has said most of what I wanted to say, and same with B. One thing I will say, two things I'll say right. Sorry. Always have connection with people. Outside Enoverlab, I and Ibukun were actually friends. Same thing with Blessing. Same thing.
I met Matthew in Nova.
Uncle
I've had a lot of good connection in Nova.
Uncle Banji is always my uncle. So always connect with people, right? It's actually very, very important. And one thing is this: do not be afraid of failure, right? Olabaji will not want to tell me this one directly, but me, I myself, I know based on what I experienced, based on what I did. My capstone project was terrible. The presentation of my capstone project was terrible. But I worked on it after, and in fact, to be honest with you, I was surprised. It was about later. Olabaji sent me the recording of that. Sent me the recording of the capstone project. I went through it. I was like, okay, oh wow. It's not as if I did bad, but I saw what I missed. I saw what I missed. Do not be afraid of failure. Keep learning. Learn again. What you failed, go back to it. What you failed at, go back to it and revisit it. You'll see the areas where you failed at, and you'll learn. So thank you, Uncle Banji.
All right. Thank you very much, you guys. You guys are amazing. And it's I do not regret having you guys as my panelists today. Right. It's been an awesome 2 hours. Right. So guys, you just made this session so interesting, so interactive, eye-opening as well. And thank you so much. Thank you. You see how the Enoverlab team are giving you guys what's this thing called now? Thumbs up. And they are just resonating to so many things that you have said, because why not? And we're really proud of you. I would like to say that we're really proud of you guys, and we love you so much. So yes, thank you so much. Guys, of course, it's been 2 hours and we've been learning so much, so much from these amazing people. All right. And it's just really important, right? It's really important that you have learned. These three people, Matthew, B, and Ibukun, they have watered us. So it's important that we as well, we go out there using our social media platform to water other people. The things that we have learned, the key points that we are taking from this session, let's go out there using our social media to tell people, to let people know, to enlighten people. I mean, you've gotten knowledge for free. So yes, it's important that you give it for free as well. You got it on a platter, and you can also give other people on a platter. So go to your social media, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Tell us what you've learned and tag Enoverlab is important. Tag Enoverlab, tag the speakers. Their names are just the way it is on on LinkedIn, most importantly. B is Olubiyi Olofintila. Ibukun is Ibukunoluwa Ogundare. Matthew, just the way his name is, Matthew Hans-Bello. Then Enoverlab, you can tag us on Instagram at Enoverlab NG. Every other of our social media is Enoverlab. Thank you guys for staying to the end of this session. I'm just going to be dropping. Marty made mention of something. He talked about connection. You have to connect with, people. And I think one very amazing thing with Enoverlab is the community. The community is a stronghold, and we are very grateful for the people there. So I just dropped a link to the community. Oh, Banji did that as well. I just dropped a link to the community as well. So you can just click on the link to join the community. It is a place of learning, unlearning, relearning, and continuous learning. So yes, I'll see you guys on the other side of Enoverlab. I mean, there are about 4 or 5 sides of Enoverlab. This is just one. So I'll see you on the other side of Enoverlab. See you guys. Have a wonderful weekend.
Before you close, sorry,
Okay.
Blessing.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yes.